All right, Kastan. So here you are settling into your block stance and block move. Set goes up, and your lineup is pretty good. If I had one little suggestion for you, it would be instead of having your hands so far out to the side, I would have them maybe a little bit more in front of you or like closer to the front of your body. So if we watch you go up, you're just a tad late with your penetration, I think partially because of where your hands are. Your hands are still wide as you're going up. They're still wide, they're still wide. Now, the ball is passing you right now in this frame, and this is when your hands are going from wide to kind of more narrower and pressed. But then, if we look at your peak press is in these few frames right here. And one little thing you might want to think about in serve receive is taking a bigger first step or taking a first step in general. I saw this earlier and I wasn't really going to say anything or think much of it, but it looks like it's been kind of a consistent thing that you do. So serve goes up and you're still moving a little bit, so you can watch your left foot here. You're moving kind of before, like during contact / before you know where the ball is. So this is either only going to slow you down or make it harder to change directions. I kind of like what Zahn's doing, how he's landing on 2 feet. I think, however, he's doing a little bit late. So if you can kind of do that or this step before contact instead of just after, I think the timing would be a little bit better. But then here, ball's to your right, and you take a step, but it didn't really get you anywhere. So let me mark this real quick. Right now, your foot's in the sand right about there, and you take a step. I know the camera moved, but you take a step, and it didn't really get you anywhere. So then now, for your pass, you're passing way outside your body, which is okay. But the problem is after you pass, you have to take a big step just to catch yourself. Whereas if at point of your pass, if you were kind of in a lunge, so your right leg was more lateral like that, like a lunge, then you wouldn't need to take this big step after your pass and kind of reset your stance. You would already have that right leg out, and you would be able to use that to go forward and to the net for the rest of your approach. However, you're losing a little bit of time, you're a little bit off balance, and I think it's overall going to help with your timing for what comes after, on top of what it can do for your pass. I think it will lengthen your passing range if you are taking a bigger step and going into a lunge instead of taking a small step, passing, and then having like a step that almost like catches you. So here on this approach, this is the second time in a row where, in my opinion, you come in kind of looking to shoot, and you're not really giving yourself the option to swing. And one of the reasons why I say this is because after you jump, both arms come up, which is obviously good. And then your right hand, your elbow is forward the whole time. So you're not giving yourself any chance to swing at all. The only thing you can really do is push. Kind of do like a push shot instead of like snapping through it. Now, you'll see your elbow never comes back. And another thing is, you didn't really reach max height on this shot either. Two things I'd like to see One is a full big approach where you're not kind of gliding through the end of your approach, like when you jump, like you kind of did on this one, and getting that elbow back, because those two things really help you at least sell the fact that you're swinging and give you the option to swing. But if you kind of choose to slow down at the end before you actually hit your attack, then you're not allowing really anything except a shot. So one thing I'm noticing on defense is that every time you kind of automatically, maybe not every time, but oftentimes you're just going to the middle and waiting. And then last second just running. But for the most part, what I'm seeing is it's not really a dive play to where the blocker's diving late, defender's diving late. It just seems like you're diving late and Zahn isn't. And the reason I don't really like that is because, yeah, they don't know where you're gonna end up. But as soon as right now, like when you start taking off, you can only dig shots over here. If it's hard driven in the direction that you are, it's going to be hard to dig. And then anything back towards the line over here is like nearly impossible for you to dig. So you're kind of just, the only thing you can dig on something like this is like a cut shot or a shot in your direction. I think anything hard driven is going to be difficult to dig because you're on the move. And then anything back to the line is near impossible. And this time it worked out. But I kind of went through this first match, twice, kind of just looking at your defense. And it seems like you really like to go middle, where I would like to see you. Let's see. Let me set this up for you. So blocker is here, green. Hitter is there as well. I'd like to see you lining up like here early and being totally still and patient, low, ready to move, shoulders and hips square to the hitter, because then you can dig hard driven because you're set up perfectly for it. You can dig a cut shot, which is going to be a reaction, and you can dig a line shot, which is going to be a reaction. But with you just kind of already running, there's no reading. You're leaving so, like, from what I can tell, so early that there's no reading involved. It's just guessing.